Number 2, Red Dead Redemption riding a horse. That's what I wrote down in colon. So basically, it's a great experience. Just the first time I got on the horse, went out into the woods, had to lasso up some cattle or whatever. And then even not just the riding the horse, just that whole experience, that little, the town, this kind of wilderness and just running around and catching bad guys in their fort. Those cowboys, got to shoot them.
Right.
So just that whole experience. Not finishing the game because I didn't, which, send me hate mail. Twitter.com/
You really need to finish it.
Oh, no, I will.
Yeah.
And I don't want to play the zombie game, but I do love the experience. I do love the experience, and that literally getting on the horse, riding by other horse riders. People are like riding. You're like, whoa, I'm in the Wild West. Big fan. Huge moment for me.
Yep. Oddly enough, my number 2 is also Red Dead Redemption.
Weird.
Yes.
We didn't time it because you didn't even see my list.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, again, the experience, the whole world itself is just spot on. The characters were great. The writing was really good. My moment, though, is, and I don't know how far you've gotten in, so
Scott Jones in the spoilers.
I don't think I'm giving you too much of a spoiler.
Okay. And if you do, I'm going to spoil Alan Wake's for you.
That's fine. I'm just kidding. But after he's done and caught all of his old gang members, when he goes back and they finally release his wife and son and he goes home, and just the time he spends getting reacquainted with his family.
Oh, yeah.
Especially his son, and that section.
You got a little teary-eyed, didn't you?
It's actually really good.
A little emotional for Scott
And it
Jones.
leads to what is probably the best ending of a game.
Which is why I have to finish it now.
That's why,
okay.
You gotta
finish this.
You'll get to that.
Let's finish
and you'll
this
be
countdown, and I'll be like,
really?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Sorry, I gotta bleep that out.
What? I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
My number. This is it. We're gonna do it.
Yep.
Number one, not number 5. Number 1 is and what's? I have an asterisk next to it.
Really? Okay. Well,
I'll tell you the asterisk
game
first.
Oh, tell
the
the
game is no. I'll do the game first.
Okay.
The game is Limbo,
Right.
and my moment is the ending.
Okay.
Which is, again, I can't spoil this for you, and I won't. I'm going to be very tricky about this. The asterisk is that I actually learned, I was going through the walkthrough, because some of these, Limbo's hard. It's like a Braid game.
Right.
Yeah,
I played the demo.
Side-scroller.
There were certain sections where I was like, oh my god, I just died. What the heck?
Yeah, well, it's not even that. It's just like you die, but then you die and die. You're like, I don't understand how to do this.
Right.
And when you figure it out, you feel brilliant. Right. Well, so it's a great game, but I needed some help, so I went to YouTube and got some of the walkthrough parts.
Right, of course.
So as I'm doing that, I didn't realize I was as far as I thought I was, or I didn't realize it was near the end of the game.
Right.
And the next one showed part of the ending.
And you were like,
and I was like, no! And pause. And then I realized how to do it, although I had to read that because the ending is, what? So I figured it out with their help, and I saw a little bit of the ending, but then I actually went through that ending sequence. And it's short, and it's sweet, and it's not that big of a deal. Like Braid. Do you remember the ending of Braid? Did you see that?
I never played Braid. That's on the list.
I almost left. Anyways, that should be the first thing.
Not my fault.
Okay, it isn't your fault. But it's similar to Braid in the fact that the ending is really simple, but it speaks, it's kind of bigger than that. Yeah, it's bigger than that. It's quietly awesome. So I can't really tell you what it is, but it has to do with your character.
Right.
Kind of moving in weird ways, and then the story kind of wrapping up in a quiet way.
Like I said, I played the demo for it, and it's on my list of ones to possibly purchase. So, remember we had that discussion.
If it's my number 1 for 2010, you're gonna buy it.
All right. So my number 1, it's definitely one you haven't played, but it's one that I really enjoyed, and that's Heavy Rain.
Oh, jeez, I want to play it.
Right.
PS3.
Yeah. See, I get to make fun of him now for not having a
Yeah.
system. But the game itself, and this is the last one, and it is going to be a spoiler thing, but there's lots of other things going on in there that giving this one part away isn't really going to hurt anything.
Okay.
But spoiler can anyway. The basic gist of the game is that there's a person called the Origami Killer who basically takes children, and he leaves origami, and basically he's testing, because the tagline of the game is how far would you go to save someone you love.
That reminds me of like Saw or something.
Right. It's kind of in that same vein. One of the main characters, Ethan Mars, his son. Well, at the beginning of the game, another spoiler. He had 2 sons. One was hit by a car, and he was hit by the car trying to save his son. So several years later, his marriage kind of fell into the toilet because of this incident, and so he's divorced. But he has this other son, and this other son ends up getting kidnapped by the origami killer.
Okay.
So there's several overarching character stories kind of going along, but his story is that he keeps getting phone calls from the killer, and the killer keeps telling him to do certain things
Yeah, they always do that.
in order to gain a bit of information about the whereabouts.
Of course.
So after each one, if
There's
you-
an episode of Sherlock like that.
Exactly.
You should see Sherlock.
Yes, you should. I was just watching A Study in Pink yesterday. So,
Brilliant.
but aside from that, so the one scene in particular is that he is sent to this very dingy apartment. Looks like nobody's lived in the building for like 10 years. I mean, it's just run down. And there's this little screen on the table that's got a webcam in it. And the killer basically says, all right, in order to get the clue, you have to chop off one of your fingers in front of the camera.
Oh. Did you see, I'm not derailing your thing though.
Right.
Did you see the movie with the guy in the box? What the heck is that movie? Oh my goodness. No, that he was buried alive.
Oh, Buried.
Buried.
Yeah,
Did you see that movie, Buried? There is a scene in that, just like that.
right.
Anyways,
So, but I mean,
Stupid
there are,
guys.
and it's not just a straightforward thing. I mean, yeah, you can just do the thing, but there's other things in the apartment. So, I mean, I did it.
there's different ways to cut off your fingers,
Well,
you're saying?
there's different ways to deal with it
Oh.
because there's like a piece of metal and there's a stove. So once you cut your finger off, you can heat the metal up and cauterize your wound, or you can wrap it up in gauze. There's like a bathroom with medical supplies in
Can
it.
you fake cut it off?
No.
Because that would have been
You can
badass.
you can choose not to do it,
Right.
but you won't get the clue.
But like, you know, like they have to be like some little,
Right.
you kind of
But
make it look
there's-
like you did.
Because if you've seen the gameplay, things will come up with the button presses
Yeah.
that you're supposed to do, and as he gets irritated, they start to vibrate.
Oh, interesting.
And as you get closer and closer to the moment, they just start going wild.
That's a cool moment.
And I went through that moment, and I was just like, oh my god.
Now in that game, that moment sounds awesome, and it's a good number one. In that game though, you can obviously do that and then save, or save before it and do it, and then go back and try it again, right?
You could. And a lot of people, that's a lot of how they play a game. Sometimes I do that too. And the reason I haven't played this game again is because the experience you choose is,
Yep.
it's never the same.
Yeah, it's like a choose your own adventure.
It
and-
is.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that.
Yeah, you get from A to B in the way that you want to
Right.
get there.
Well, I mean, the way they set this game up, every single character in the game can die, and the game will still go on.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so here's what I decided.
So.
For our number ones, Limbo,
Limbo.
Heavy Rain,
Right.
experiences.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have PS3,
Right.
so I need to buy a PS3
Definitely.
and
Yes.
to get and play Heavy Rain. And you need to buy Limbo.
As soon as
That's
I
our
get,
fair
as soon as I
trade.
get home tonight, I have my Microsoft points. I will go ahead and.
You get
start
Limbo.
with that. Yes.
I will get Heavy Rain and a PS3 somehow.
Yeah.
Actually, I have enough money to get it right now.
Yep.
Jeez. Okay, that's it for our look at 2010's.
One thing
What?
one thing I kind of noticed real quick is that what I know about Limbo is that the character in Limbo it deals with his sister, right? There's something about a sister. I think I heard.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hmm.
I'm saying that because that might be a spoiler.
Well, no, but I know that he's doing something that deals with his sister. I don't specifically know what, but you
Oh.
can tell me that much, right?
I guess I can.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave my answer
Okay.
vague.
Well, basically, then I know I'm right. But
Wait, what do you write? Oh, you're right if I leave it vague.
Because each of our number ones has a family element.
Oh, I
involved.
see what you mean. Wow, that's good.
Yeah, I just kind of noticed that as we were talking about
Weird.
it. So, you know. So
So that'll do it
all of the
for.
games on these lists are awesome games.
Yeah.
And you should check them out if you haven't.
You should buy them, all of them,
At least
Well,
rent them.
some of them.
At least rent them.
Yeah, and a lot of them are cheap. Rascal's cheap. Pac-Man CES.
That's true. Yeah, a lot of yours
CDX
were
cheap.
arcade games. So
Yeah.
Those are ridiculously cheap.
Get those. All right, and then we're gonna have next show will be our last show.
Our last
So
show. Yep.
That's gonna happen. We'll let you know more about what it's gonna consist of later.
Yeah.
Oh, you should follow us on Twitter.
Yes.
I'm Onawa.
I am Yoshiwara.
He's Yoshiwara. And we're going to do a giveaway, I think, maybe the last episode.
We'll
A big
see
fun
what we
video
come-
game giveaway.
Yeah, see what we come up with.
Bye.
Bye.